live right now. You guys can click on the blue button so you can stay in the room. As always, you guys are already, TNT, your family, you're at home in here. But we always have to remember, and we have only pretty much like 3 rules to follow. 3 very simple rules. Rule number 1 is this right now is not a class. I know, Lucas, that you have 2 teachers in here. You have a Spanish teacher and English teacher. You're very privileged. But we're not going to teach you anything here right now. We're here to have a conversation, share experiences, and practice the English language. Doesn't mean we're done learning here. We get to learn a lot of things, not only English. Rule number 2 is that we're not going to correct each other at if you say the earth is flat, we're not going to correct you here. No, just kidding. We're not going to correct you about the language, so you can feel free to make your mistakes and learn from them. And rule number 3 is to be respectful to each other, even if we don't agree. If you say the earth is flat and I don't agree, we can expose our points of views in respectful ways. We don't need to start a Twitter fight because of it, right? That's pretty much it. And I would like to start with the first question, because this is something I think about a lot. Fernanda, what does for you mean the first impressions matter?
I think that there are some situations that the first impression it's more important, like when we go to an interview or a job, or when we do a presentation. The way we will look at that time, it can have some influence in other people. I think the first impression matters. Yes, I agree. And I think it means that the way you look maybe can influence if the person will listen or not, or something like that. I don't know if I answered right, but is that?
There's no right or wrong here.
yeah, I know.
All right. And it's funny because Lucas was on the conversation yesterday about making conversation. And we talked a little bit about it, like when you start the conversation with the person for the first time. So for you, Lucas, what does it mean that the first impressions matter?
Well, I think it's the first step to starting a friendship or other thing. I think it's important because I remember when I knew Fernanda, she said to me, "Oh, I see you just like a friend." And I remember this because it was in my heart. And now you are married. So I don't know if this is so really important. But it's important. So because I think I don't know, if I went to the first date stinky, Fernanda probably wouldn't like me. So depends.
I get it. Oh my God, you went all the way from the friend zone to marriage?
Yes.
You did you went all the way, dude. That's cool. First
I
like
won. I am a winner.
That's really good. All right. I agree with you guys. I think there are some situations where it matters a lot. There are some situations where it doesn't. Like when you walk into a company to do a job interview, they are looking the way you dress, the way you behave, the way you speak, the way you communicate, and everything. And I think in this case, first impressions kind of matter, especially when it's your only impression you're going to have. You talk to the person, you do the interview, and that's what's going to decide if you're going to get hired or not. So I think in this case, first impressions really matter. But there are many cases where the first impression doesn't define anything, right? Like with Lucas. But I remember a lot of people, and I mean people here on Talk and Talk, because when I started working doing social media marketing here, people would see me on the stories, on the videos and everything, and they would be very embarrassed, very ashamed to talk to me. And I remember Jasmine, she was a person who worked here on Talk and Talk for a while. She was an intern. And one day we were talking and working together, we got very close. We talked every day. And then one day she was like, when I started on Talk and Talk, I was pretty sure you were a terrible person. I don't know how to say, I don't remember how to say this in English. There was expression like, eu achei que você fosse muito nojento. And a lot of people, I don't know if it happened to you guys, but a lot of friends I've had that I thought the person was very like boring or annoying, and then we became best friends, and the people thought about that about me too. Has it ever happened to you for a person you say like, oh, this person is terrible, and then you become friends?
Once, and I worked in other company. There were some girls that didn't like me, but after a time we became friends, and now we hang out sometimes. So
Oh, that's really cool. I'm an immersion
it happened.
Oh, that's really cool. And especially at work sometimes, because all right, sorry guys. Especially at work, because these people have to see every single day, right? And then it's really weird when people don't like you at work and then come and have to talk to people or do something, and people, they act strange around you. Well, that's really cool. What about you, Lucas? Has it ever happened to you? Like a person you say, no, and then you become friends?
I don't remember. No one has told me about it. But the first impression sometimes is wrong. We see the face of someone and we think something that is not aware with the person is. So I think it's very shallow. You think something about the people, the person, just looking for her, just thinking the first impression.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult, right? Especially if you only judge the face, because there are people that they're just serious. They have a straight face, but if you get to talk to them, they're such nice people. So yeah. Okay, now, do you guys think you make a good first impression? What do you say, Lucas? You think you make a good first impression?
Yes, I hope. When I meet someone, I try to be funny. I try to do a good conversation. I try to be cool with the person. And I think I have a good first impression.
That's good. That's good. Let's ask Fernando. Fernando, this is Lucas. Now we're gonna.
What do you think about it?
What? Sorry.
If you think Lucas, no, just kidding. About you, Fernando. Do you think you
Okay.
make a good first impression?
I think yes. I think I normally make a good first impression, but sometimes I leave my house not so pretty. I have difficulty to like use makeup, those stuff. So sometimes I think I don't make a good first impression. That's it. It depends on my humor, on the day.
I feel you. I understand you. Like there are days that I take a shower, I put nice clothes just to take the trash out. And there are days I go with my pajamas, just like so yeah, that happens. So it's interesting to think about. Let's see if you guys know what you want to leave as an impression. Fernanda, what is the first impression you like to leave to people? Do you know what it is or not?
No, I don't know what I want actually. Maybe I want to seem like a good person that has sympathy for the others, and that's it. And smart. I also want people think that I'm smart.
It's good when we know people know we're smart, right? I know, it's really great. What do you say, Lucas? Is the first impression you want to leave on people? Do you know what it is?
No. I don't know. I think it's look like Fernanda. I think it's a little smart, and if I don't know if the person has a good smile. I think it's good. And jokes, I like jokes. So if someone does jokes or if the person laughs with my jokes, it's okay.
Yes, starting a conversation with jokes is like the key.
Yes.
I feel you. I'm gonna be really honest. I love to leave the impression that I'm smart. Like, if I have the opportunity to show the person, like, the first moment that I'm smart, I just do it. I like to leave a first impression of like funny. I always start conversations with jokes. So when the person is very serious, it becomes a very strange situation. You make a joke, you start laughing, the other person's like, and I like to make people feel comfortable to talk to me, like nowadays I don't interact with people so much in conversations, like close conversations, making new friends and this kind of stuff. But when I was in school, I I was a person who would, like, in the first day of school, I wouldn't make many friends, but then I would start meeting people. And then I was a person who would go from one group to another very easily. And people would feel comfortable talking around me, so I knew everybody's secrets. Never shared. Perfect. Now, Mr. Lucas, I know you've done it, right? At least I hope, because you guys are already married. Have you ever met a boyfriend or girlfriend's parents?
Yes. When I knew Fernanda's parents, and I think I passed a good impression for her parents. In the day I was so nervous and anxious, but in general it was okay. Fernanda's parents like me, I think. And
that's the moment to come clean, Fernanda. That's the moment to tell the truth.
Yes. Say yes. Thank you. That's it.
I guess it's difficult, right? Like, not to be nervous in a situation like this. You want to leave a good impression of the person you are. You're a good person, you're a funny guy and everything, but you're nervous and that gets in the way, you know? So it's complicated.
Yes,
What about
in the first time you don't eat, you don't use the bathroom, you don't do anything. You just sit down in the sofa.
you don't sit completely down, you sit on the tip of the chair and you stay like this?
Yes. You don't speak, you don't do anything.
That's great. But then, and that's the thing about proximity, like on the first time, you're dying inside. On the second time is a little better. On the third time is okay. On the fifth time, you're in the sofa like this.
What are you gonna eat today? Where is the menu?
Like, is there pasta?
I don't like pasta. I want
Oh.
another thing to eat.
Europe, we were talking yesterday, you're already opening the fridge. Perfect. What about you, Fernanda? How was it like to know Lucas' parents?
Well, it was complicated. Like I was nervous, for sure, and I remember that the father of Lucas came in a car to catch us to his house, and in the car Lucas was talking with his father, and I was like, oh my god, what I'm doing here? They're like in so good conversation. I was like, oh, okay, what I'm doing here, what's going to happen? And but everything went okay, I think. Nowadays their parents like me. I think so, actually.
Lucas nod. That's really good. This situation is so horrible, right? You're in a car with a person and another person, they're talking, and you're just in silence, like, you don't know if you should just listen, if you should try to enter the conversation. We got
And
so nervous.
you said something about the weather. Oh, I think it's going to rain. And then the other person answered yes.
Yeah.
Is this?
Yes. It's really great. I've never met. I've never dated anyone. I've never had like a boyfriend or girlfriend. I'm like, I had a web boyfriend for a time, but it was online, so we never got to know each other's families. So is that. I don't know what kind of impression I will leave on a person when I like go meet their parents. I've met a few of my friends' parents. I've always been friends with girls. I make friendship with girls very easily. So all my like best friends, they're all girls. And every time I go to their house, I meet their parents, then there's some comment like, oh, he's a nice guy. Why don't you guys date? So I don't know. I hope I'll leave a good impression based on the feedback from my friends. I think that might happen. Oh, question number 4. Question number 4 is just, Fernanda, when you meet a person, they tell you their name. Do you remember it?
No, I I have difficulty to remember, and I don't have any trick to remember the name. Maybe just with the contact with this person, I will know the name without asking, what's your name? For me, it's difficult, real difficult.
Yes. How long does it take? Like 2 times, 3 times seeing the person to remember the name?
I think like two or 3 times for me.
Good. That's good. What about you, Lucas? When a person tells you their name, do you remember it?
No, I'm terrible. I'm like Fernanda, so I ask them every time until I remember. I think 2 or 3 times. I can remember the name.
Perfect. Oh, we were talking about you guys meeting each other's parents. Did you remember the names of the parents?
Yes, but I have one problem with the. Now I remember, but the first of our relationship, I didn't remember the grandmother, the Fernanda grandmother, the name, because it's a different name, and every time I asked her, oh, what is the name of your grandmother that and I forget it's. Oh my god, I forgot the name.
In the part of Lindaura, is this?
Yes, Linda.
Okay.
Linda.
I have 2 grandmothers from my father part, Eulina and Lindaura, from the mother of my mother.
That's good. And he said, when he said I forgot the name, I was thinking Ginalva. And then he said Ginalva, and I was like, very close. That's very good. And it's tricky situations because sometimes you go visit the person, you're in the house of the person's like, oh, Junior, how are you doing? Do you want anything? And then you're like, oh, no, thank you, sir.
Bro.
Yeah, mate. No, thanks. What about you, Fernanda? Did you remember Lucas' parents' name on the first time?
Yes, I think so. Sometimes I don't know the name of some friends. I forget, but now I know everybody. I think maybe some relatives that are not so close. I don't know the name, but it's okay. It's not so close. So
Nice.
okay.
It's part of life.
I don't know too, so it's okay. I don't remember it. It's fine.
É o filho da tia Maria. That's it. Perfect. All right. I have a really big problem to remember names. And it's funny because here in the TALKNTALK immersion, sometimes like the person comes for the first time, you say, oh, how are you? Where are you from? How did you find us? What are you thinking about the immersions and everything? You have a conversation, 1 hour conversation with the person. And then the person comes again the next week and I'm like, oh, are you new? Is it your first time? How are you doing?
Yesterday happens this with you.
And it wasn't like a lot of people. On his first immersion, it was just me and him, just the 2 of us. And I forgot about him. Yeah. Agora que eu já passei vergonha, now that I've been embarrassed about it, I'm going to remember. Very. Actually, I forgot the name of my therapist. I think it's Yasmin, but I'm not sure. Last week, she was like, bye, Junior, have a good holiday. And I was like, oh, you too, Yasmin. And then I just walked, but she didn't say anything. And I was like, is Yasmin her name? I don't know. I'm not sure if Yasmin is the name of my therapist. I have to search on social media. All right. Now, parties. Parties are a great place to be. You have fun, you drink a little bit, you eat something, you make new friends, you dance, you shake your booty. But sometimes you have to go and you have to introduce yourself to a stranger in front of other people. Fernanda, have you ever introduced yourself to a stranger in public? Why and what happened? What did you say to the person?
I think just in meetup. Oh my God. Why? Because Phil asked. I think my name, my age, I don't know the language. I didn't say the language I speak, but I said that I was there to practice English. I don't remember everything I said. I was so nervous.
We get very nervous. Yes. And like when you were meeting people one-on-one, starting conversations with people personally, was it difficult? Was it okay?
What?
When you were having, this was in the group, right? We make a
Okay,
circle,
yeah.
introduce yourself. But when we were talking to the people, like only 2 or 3 people.
I think it's okay. Like, normally we just say our name, actually, no? Oh, I'm Fernanda. And you? I don't know.
Very good.
Let's see.
And then if you don't have anything to say, just say, oh my God, it's so crazy, right? We're speaking in English.
Yes. Yes.
And then you start conversation. Awesome. What about you, Lucas? Have you ever had to introduce yourself to a stranger in public in front of other people?
Yes. On our honeymoon, we participate in the Argentina experience in food, and was a restaurant, and we knew how to cook Argentina food, and with about 8 people, 8 tourists. So we needed to introduce ourselves, and I say the same thing that I said when I participate to TNT immersion, and it's good because I learned how it's important to know how to introduce myself in English. So I said, I am Lucas, I live in Callejas, I'm pharmacist, and my age. And it was good because before the TNT, I didn't know how to introduce myself. It was a good experience.
Oh, that's really great. So you were able to talk to people at Argentina using English. That's really good.
Yes, it's because the people was around the world. So someone was I don't know, American, yes, American. Others in the Canada, Australia. So the course, the class was in English. So we need to talk in English. Yes, that's good.
Perfect. And have you already cooked any of the recipes to Fernanda?
Remember,
It was like a food class, right?
yes.
Have you already made any of the recipes, any of the food you learned to Fernanda after the trip?
No.
Come on, dude.
What happened in Argentina, stay in Argentina. we learn in this course who stayed there. We don't remember. I don't remember how to do the things. I don't know if Fernanda remembered the tips. The Argentine food.
It's okay. It's part of the experience. We forget these things, right?
Yes.
The important is eating there in the moment. And perfect. All right. I've introduced myself or in public to strangers, like many times. And usually I just like, I try to, if the person introduces themselves first, I just go with the same lines, like, oh, I'm I live in this place, I do this and that, I like this and that. And I say the same thing, I'm Junior, I live in this place, I do this and that. If I have to introduce myself first, I, as always, start with a joke to break the ice. And then I just say random stuff about me. Sometimes I say like what I do, what I like, what I don't like, where I live, this kind of information. But it's really weird when you have to talk to a stranger with other people watching. It's like kind of complicated. Ooh. Then I have a question here for you guys. And I have already answered, which is it more comfortable for you to meet men or women? I said to you guys, most of my friends, they're women. I feel a lot more comfortable. I can talk a lot easier with them. So for me, I feel a lot more comfortable meeting women than I do meeting men, especially because like when I go to the barber shop, people are talking about cars, football, and I'm like, what? So I don't feel very comfortable talking to men like strangers, but like the Uber driver. What about you, Lucas? Is it more comfortable for you to meet men or women?
I think men, because for me it's easier to have a conversation, because in general men are more immature. So my my jokes have more efficiency with men. I made the graphics, the search. I see men's laugh more. So man, I feel more comfortable.
Guy did a whole research, compared the data.
Yes, I compare, and man, it's here, woman here in my love jokes with my love.
If you take it out of context, just the part he said, man is here, woman is here.
Oh my god.
You're gonna be canceled. It is. The sense of humor, the kind of things they laugh about is really different. With men, you can just say it like a silly thing and they're like, oh. With women, is a lot more different in this area.
Yes.
Very right. What about you, Fernanda? Do you feel more comfortable meeting men or women?
Nowadays, I think women, because it's more comfortable to talk about this subject. I feel a little bit of difficulty to meet men now that I have a relationship, because I don't know, sometimes I feel like men just want to talk with a girl if it's, I don't know, to have something. So I have this difficulty to have like a friendship with a man.
Yes, it's quite complicated. Not creating a stereotype. No, it's a stereotype, and it's true. Men, 70% of the time, they just like talk to a person if they're interested in something. So quite complicated. Okay. Let me see here one thing. Oh no, let's continue the sequence. Number 7, Fernanda. Have you ever met somebody and immediately hit it off, like you guys got along and then you started friends and talking and laughing? What made you get along so quickly?
Actually, I don't know. No one. No, for me, it's difficult to have this symptom. I don't know, with other people. Like, it's something that I need to work on, like to keep the conversation. So, don't know. Even I don't have friends like a friendship like so long, like for years and years, because I have difficulty to keep the contact. So I don't have any example that I remember now.
I feel you was so difficult to keep in touch and talk every day, and it's complicated. I don't keep contact with my friendships like very often too. But it happened to me a few times. But let me see with Lucas first. Lucas, have you ever met a person and then you just like, boom, friends?
No, actually, I don't remember. With my coworkers, I get along well. So in that context, it was easy for me. But relationship, friendship, it's I don't remember.
I have a friend. She was a student when I was teaching in a school here in my city. She was one of my students. And on the school, we only did classes with one or two students. So she was the only person in the class. It was just me and her. And we did classes on Monday morning, like 8 in the morning. We were doing English class. So it was funny because like on the first class, she was on a roll, ela tava de roupão, lá na primeira aula. It was like, teacher, I just woke up and I'm doing stuff, so like we're gonna talk and everything. And then we felt very comfortable. And I think like the second class, we were already gossiping, like talking about relationships and family and problems and college and stuff like that. So we got along very well. We go out every week. She lives like really close here. And we just became friends. We would do 1 hour of English class and 2 hours of gossip. Like we would talk from 8 in the morning until like. So we hit it off very easily. But it's not so easy, right? I think it must be a place and a context where you feel very comfortable to open to the person, and the person opens to you as well, and then you become friends immediately. So I guess it's difficult. What about the opposite? Lucas, have you ever met a person and you immediately disliked them?
Oh, yes. In my graduation, someone had a guy. He think he was the best of the others. So everything that the teacher asked, he wanted to answer, and I mean every time he do some comments, and it was very tired, no, bored. Wait. Bored?
Boring, yeah.
Boring, yes. So it was very boring because in very moments he just speak and he'd speak it out loud, you know. So it was very bored.
I feel it. And it's and the problem about this kind of people is either the person thinks they're better than everyone, and this person is really annoying, nobody likes this person, or this person thinks they're better than everyone, but they are kinda sympathetic, so people like them and you don't. So you feel like everybody likes this person. Why?
Yes, want to be the center of attention. It's terrible.
It's annoying. I understand. What about you, Fernanda? Have you ever met a person and you immediately, like on the moment, you say, dude, I don't like this person?
Yeah, I had this kind of colleagues in my graduation also. It was not good. I hate it because I'm always the shy person that don't want to like be in the center of the attention. So it's kind of people I don't like. I thought about one professor in the graduation. Like I didn't like him in the first classes because it feels like he didn't have patience to teach. Like someone asked anything about the subject and he always usually replied with something like, I don't remember exactly, but it was like he didn't want to answer, you know? So I didn't like him because of it. Like if you are teaching, you have to be patient and maybe like people. So if you don't, change your profession.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, these kind of teachers are so terrible. We ask something, they're like, "Oh, we've already explained," they're always in the material, and then they don't want to explain things to you. It's like really bad. I don't remember if there's a person I like immediately hated. I don't know. Really don't know. Probably. Oh, there is a person, but I cannot say. Oh my God. There is a person, is not here from Talk and Talk, but is a person who is fluent in English. So just to be sure, I won't say anything. But it's exactly the same situation. The person who thinks it's better, smarter, faster, more powerful, more beautiful, more fluent, more everything than everybody. And this person really got on my nerves. Like every time I had to interact with this person, I wanted to die. Was maravilhoso. All right. Last question for us to finish here. Fernanda, have you ever been at a party where people were mingling, like going from one group to another, meeting different people? How good are you at circulating?
I don't know any party I went and it had this kind of situation. And I'm not good at circulating because I'm not good in start the conversation. So I prefer to stay where I am and keep the other part there.
You just form your group and you're like, okay, we're staying here. That's good. That's good. I got like that. But you were to a place where people were circulating. You were in the meetup.
Yes. In the meetup, we had this situation and it was a little bit crazy, but I think everything got well.
Yes, Jesus Christ, there were we talked to so many people on those meetups. Jeez. What about you, Lucas? Have you ever been at a party, an event where people were just circulating and you had to do it? Are you good at it?
No, I'm shy, so I'm like Fernanda. I'm so good in circulation. I prefer stay with my friends, the person that I know, and it's just I first stay with my group, talking and making jokes. And for me, it's okay.
Very good. If you guys we have to go out together. I'm gonna do to you the same thing I did to Fernando on the first meetup we participated. I think there were a group of 3 people, was Fernando and 2 more people talking, and then I went there and I joined the conversation. Then I brought on other people. Then I brought on other people. After I put together like a group of 8 people, we just walked away and left them talking. It's good. I like to mingle, I like to circulate, go around, talk to different people, look for different information, especially because I have a big problem keeping focus. So sometimes I start a conversation and I get bored in the middle of it, not because the conversation is bad, but because I have a really difficult problem with focus. I want to do new things all the time and start conversating. So sometimes I start talking to my brother, and then we talk for 20 minutes, then I just lose the interest in the conversation. So I like to do that. And every time I see like a person on the corner not participating, I go there, bring the person inside the conversation. So I think it's really cool to do that. And as facilitators, it's kind of like our job here on TALKNTALK to integrate everybody in the conversation. So it's a really nice mission, a really nice thing to do, and a challenge. Okay, guys, that's it. We're finishing. It was really nice to meet you. It was great to have you guys here for this conversation. Is there anything you would like to say before we go? No. Have you guys been drinking water today?
No, I drink coffee. I have a water in the cup, so yes, I drink water.
Yes. I've been drinking 60% waters, 40% coffee powder. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you guys to do 2 things. First, click on the link here in the chat to leave the feedback before we finish. And second, hydrate. Okay, with pure water.
Okay.
Okay. Guys, have an amazing day, great weekend. Hope to see you more conversations. And that's it. Bye.
Bye-bye.